This one here is an 83 GMC. This thing has had a lot of work done prior to me getting it. It's been C-notched prior to me picking it up. I figured I'd go over and just try to keep track as far as the process and the build, and just to have like a little bit of something for me to see the tracking, and not only that, but maybe help out somebody else who's digging through these. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of different ways of going about this, a lot of different ways to skin a cat. I think this thing is really cool, honestly, at this point, that there's so much market to buy pieces and things to piece them together. Thankfully for this thing is pretty solid overall. I have done some things. Obviously, this thing had one mirror. Here I put 2 of these cheap Amazon, eBay mirrors. These things do dent up pretty easily. As you can tell, there's a little bit of a dent already in there. That's okay. I'm not really worried. I would like to try to make this thing a daily driver. And just kind of piecing it together little by little as far as where I'm at now. Like I said, it's pretty low now. It's got the 20-inch Camaro wheels on it, and it rubs. It's been rubbing a little bit. I've gotten some of the clearance worked out, but it definitely needs more work. See there, a big chunk of the tire is taken out, which stinks, but it was kind of beat up beforehand. When I bought it and moving it, this is what you got, as far as trying to get it on the trailer and what have you. I sprayed some of the paint up on there because I didn't want to. I did grind a little bit, and I just wanted to put something on to protect the metal in the meantime. I'm trying to do this thing in my spare time. I do have a body shop here that I paint cars and whatnot. Got a lot going on. But so I did paint the roof on this thing, and the reason I just went ahead and painted the roof is because it didn't have any glass, didn't have front and rear glass in it. I did put that. I've not put the locking strip inside there yet. But I was like, if I'm going to go ahead and throw the glass in, just because I want to be able to put the thing outside, I can't keep it inside all the time. I have an awning outside that I can put it under. But I brought it back in for the season to try to jump on it and get going and get moving and doing some things on it. Like I said, it's stripped, the dash, so many options. Even with that being said, as far as the dash, let's see, it gets busted up. What I think I'm going to do actually is try to repair that. And maybe, like I said, you can just kind of track with me and follow with me here for those that are interested. Like I said, I put a new back glass in it, tinted it before I put it in there. And then another thing was why I painted it is so I could get all the rust out of there. It was actually pretty clean. The metal was really clean. Thankfully, with this age of the truck, is the metal is still really good under the paint, because I've worked on older cars. I've got a 55 Bel Air that I'm working on, and it's solid overall, but it's got little pits in it everywhere. And it's all underneath the paint, and you can't even see it. And even though it's like solid, it's all underneath it. This thing here, when I stripped it, it actually had clean bare metal, other than like the nicks and stuff that are rusting. Like, obviously, some reason, I don't know if they thought about trussing it or something. I don't know why they did that, but they cut a big section out of that. Personally, I would like to run a 4-link in here. I would like to do air ride on this thing. So, of course, you got to cut that out anyways. But there's a lot to be done. But my goal is just to try to do a little here, a little there. Like even this. I mean, obviously this is common, but this thing is not chewed up that bad. They make patch panels. Obviously, somebody's already started the rockers. They need to be finished up and cleaned, but it's solid all the way through there, solid. I mean, this truck is really solid. Like, when I got it, I was like, oh man, I'm so glad. Sometimes I don't do a very good job of doing this when I go looking at stuff. They put new window cranks in. The inside of there is really clean, believe it or not. It's not perfect still. I mean, it definitely needs worked on as far as like new seam sealer all the way around. Like I said, I did rough it in. I just wanted to at least get that glass in there to go back. I've got it painted white. I've considered painting it white all the way around. But then again, I keep changing my mind. I keep changing what I'm thinking about the color. So, obviously white, I can go dark. But anyhow, so some things I do have. The thing doesn't have seat belts. I got new seat belts. Our whole new seat belt system. I'm gonna basically kind of have to fabricate that a little bit. because it's all aftermarket. You know, I've definitely went on a budget just to try to get going, and so this thing's just not sitting around forever and never gets anything done to it. My goal is actually to make this thing drivable by the end of the year. It's got the tail lights. I've got headlights coming. That has been a pain to try to figure out the buckets, the brackets that seat the headlights, the 4x6 headlights versus the the 7x9 or whatever, 5x7. Basically, it's bigger up top, and it's got, I'm assuming, the low beams. Believe it or not, I don't know a lot about these things other than the fact that I've always loved them and always wanted one. And here it is. I finally have one, for that matter. This side over here, it's gonna need some work. It's gonna need some body work. My goal is basically maybe to just do one panel at a time as I can. Lord willing, for that matter. Like I said, I've got headlights. I've got new bezels for the headlights. They're already in. I have the headlights. I had to send back the buckets because they were the wrong size. They were the larger size. And actually somebody's already, the original guy, I don't know if he replaced this or not. We didn't go into details of that, but it already has the radiator support for the smaller headlights, which is nice. You know, this is practically brand new. The grille is brand new. The bumper looks great other than these lights here. I'll pull those off. Getting into the hood, it's really clean, honestly. You know, the game plan, I think, for this, because he actually, when I bought it from him, it came with, he went ahead and sent the block with me, but it's essentially got a short block, 5.3, newer 5.3 or what have you. And so that is the goal. I do plan on putting you know, LS swapping, so to speak. Obviously has a brand new Edelbrock carburetor. I'm probably going to sell this engine. This engine seems to be running pretty good. It's got the 700R in there that shifts good. I've at least driven it around the block. Some other weird quirky things is the bed is not bolted down yet, which is kind of good, so I can get in there and try to organize that a little bit. Definitely needs a new gas tank. You know, like I said, still piecing it together, but I think I put the radiator in it myself, and then I tuned the motor. I still got to put a timing light on it. I did do vacuum tuning on the carburetor to get it to run right. The distributor was not the what is it, the ported and the manifold vacuum, it was on the wrong side and it wasn't running right, and you couldn't really tune it. And they also didn't have the electric choke hooked up, so I hooked all that up. And this thing is running better and better and better every time I mess with it. And so I think the last place that I'm at is to stick the timing light on it and hopefully work with the vacuum and the timing light back and forth so I can really dial it in, which is pretty cool because I've never really understood carburetors, and this has been kind of a learning process. My son's got a 302 and it's a carbureted 302, obviously it's in an 88 Ranger, and so we've gotten some practice on it. But anyhow, it's kind of where I'm at. Thankfully, like I said, there's a lot of things that had been done. The seat is in really good shape. You know, obviously it needs to be patched here, but I do plan on just going ahead. I thought about maybe getting like OBS seats or something. I kind of like those OBS, you know, they kind of have a little swoop to them or what have you. I really like those. I thought those would look nice and would be comfortable in here, but then I'm kind of just like, I think I'm just going to stick with this bench seat. I'm thinking of also, you know, they sell kits for the door panels, right? And then you can pretty much buy all that. It is missing pieces. I'm thinking I may build the door panels myself, just like I'm going to do the dash. I'm actually going to just clean this up, and I think I'm going to rewrap it with a like a touch leather vinyl. That's where I think I'm landing at with the dash itself, and just going ahead and salvaging the dash. Overall, it's pretty solid. It needs to be stiffened up and then cleaned up. So steering wheel already came with it. Obviously the glove box is hanging out over there on the ground. I opened it up and the thing just fell straight out. I think what I'm gonna do with that is, because it's plastic, I'm thinking about getting some sort of piano hinge and just putting a piano hinge in there, you know. This is not like a restore to get it back to where it was factory. This is for me to, like, you know, do as much as I can to sort of modernize it, make it look nice, and, you know, something that I could drive regularly. You know, I'm not looking to make it like original But if I can, I'm gonna try to. You know, it's one of those things too with just where do you go with your time and your budget. But let's think back here. The brakes need to be worked out still. It's just got a lot of fine tuning stuff. I do have a roll pan coming. I've got a roll pan to stick on the back. I'm probably going to just work through maybe videos of each little process there of things I do. Like I said, with that being said, you can see the bed is just hanging in there. But another thing is one of the holes is, unfortunately, it's chewed out right there. We have to weld that up. I know they make like the little square sections or whatever, and I don't even care about that as far as making that pretty. I do think I'm probably going to rhino line this thing temporarily. I may go ahead and patch the bed in the meantime, just to try to, like I said, just to drive it at least, and then you know, come full circle, you know, cut it back out again just as a temporary. I plan on using this truck. I plan on driving. I'm not sitting there trying to make this thing look pretty to go keep it in the garage all day long every day. You know, I kind of live out in the country a little bit. I may not drive it, and my shop is actually in the city, so I'm thinking I may just keep it here and just go use it to pick up parts around town or something like that, you know, and just drive it home every once in a while. But I'm gonna get tires. You know, unfortunately, once I get the rest of the parts, the buckets, I've got the lights. I've got some cheap LED lights that I'm gonna throw in this thing. It seems like everybody else is doing the same, and it works out pretty good. But this is just kind of jumping in here, just something to maybe show who's interested, and you know, maybe give some courage to somebody else taking on one of these things just to dig in. You know, I think now at this stage of my life, I've got skills and tools and the ability to do some things, and it's like, man, you know, in times past, I'm like, where really do I go? Where do I begin? You know, you kind of just start where you're at and play off that. But you know, my goal is just to keep moving forward here. Got the cow. I do have the cow, by the way, so I'm going to get in here and clean this up a little bit better. And but babe, like I said, just something here that I'm going to dive in, and hopefully maybe it's enjoyable just to check out and watch the process as I go along. You know, who's to say where this goes is something too that I've always kind of wanted to do, and I feel like I get a lot of benefit and help out of these things, and I do like the community of guys who are doing, you know, car stuff or what have you, and you know, it's just cool, you know, to watch something evolve, right? I think that's probably why I like doing body work so much, because you're taking stuff that's kind of messed up and bringing it back to life again, and you know, there's joy and whatnot in that. But anyhow, well, here we go. So hopefully here soon we'll jump back in here and, you know, maybe create some stuff. Take care.